Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I'm trained in all the psychic abilities, and I have learned to apply them to everything in life, not just to finding things. Actually, I'm not real good at finding things. Um, and psychic is a word that in the business world, in the business school, they call it creativity. Um, a lot of the most important psychic abilities um, are called by the Greeks intelligence of the heart. And instincts are part of psychic abilities. When you have that, the easiest way, but the most painful way to develop those techniques, those abilities, is to be abused, especially as a child, and the younger, the better, which is why abuse was part of the government program to create superhumans, humans that would have superpowers. We don't do that. There are other ways in which you can become very psychic through intention, contact with nature, clearing the third eye that everybody is so afraid of. Um, and we cover a lot of that here. What we're doing, and today somebody said something about functional medicine, and I said, functional metaphysics. I don't know if you could call it applied metaphysics. It's basically laws that govern the energy in the other dimensions. And when you learn them and you work with them, things are much easier. Reality is created in the other dimensions. But let's go ahead and start with the map of the United States today. Before I do that, let me forewarn you, at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, I always give a chat that is called Ask Francis in Spanish. When people ask the questions, it was what I could see in them today, not last week, not the week before, was total chaos in the other dimensions. It's scary what's going on. It's like a hysteria, but it's not just a hysteria. There are a lot of beings there, spirits that are very active. There's congestions the size of half of a car that are hanging over people and shooting out vectors into people. It's it's completely insane. So if you are feeling like rattled, like you don't have control over anything, like something bad is going to happen in the other dimensions, it's total chaos. And it's not Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary and the archangels and the Buddha that are creating the chaos, it's the bad guys. And there is a continuation of the Galactic sending us frequencies that are affecting our ears and our teeth. And again, today, a lot of people were talking about it. And I said, well, but did you try the protocol? And the ones that did the protocol, which is olive oil in the ears, coconut oil in the belly button, the and you can do the long one, a hum, and then the rudra hand position. I'll put it very quickly up on screen. If you do those things, you're going to have, it's not here. I'm sorry, I can't put it up. If you do those things, you're going to be able to get a grip on what's going on here. Now, this is the throat chakra. And as I said yesterday, we've got 5 portals, and we've got all the bad guys out there off planet coming in and needing to take us down so that they can take over. So you either, and going to a traditional doctor and saying, I've got this ringing in my ear. Oh, everybody's had ringing for 30 years. No. And they're not going to give you the things that when you do them, they're free, basically, and they also work. If the, let's do the map. Okay. Okay. This is the map for today. Let's go to Mexico first. Mexico's a mess. Ah, but there's green energy. And where's that green energy coming from? It is coming from Florida. And who in Florida would be having a heart connection or Trump? And Florida is in the helpful friends section. And I've been saying, I actually think these two people are going to get along really well, whether you can see that in the news or not. It doesn't matter. So that's Mexico. Then instead of a lot of little pyramids in the Gulf of America, there's one, but it is grounded, and that's really good. And it seems to be pointed. I mean, when I do these things, I do them very quickly, and I'm not sure that it would have been important to have the point straight up, whatever, but it's inclining towards Florida, but I don't think that that's significant. I think that's a coincidence. You have the two Merkabas from the Galactic Federation. I could have kept sketching more and more and more of them. And I'm getting a piece of information right now. The reason I could have sketched more protection and more protection from the Galactic Federation is because Trump is not allowing people to poison him with words, reminding him, remember the last time this happened? And should we really let that go? And he's not letting people poison him with their thoughts because they would never do what he's doing. And what he's doing is blankety blank great. So the Galactic Federation is very pleased with that, understanding that this is a man to be that deserves the respect and deserves the protection. Okay. Next, the center of the United States, you have the heart, half of it's pink, the other half is like black. That's okay. I'm sure everybody's very depressed. There's so much going on. And then at the top, you in the United States frequency, the blue lines are very nice. The color, the wave. At the top, it's red, which means Canada will either boil over or burn up. You can't have all that red. And it was interesting when I was going to just use the red pencil to do the waves, which indicate the frequencies. I needed to just take two of those colored pencils at a time and hold them in my hand together and then do the wave of the frequency. You can kind of tell in the upper left hand. So I'm not sure what that means, but it may be significant. We may understand that later. Okay, so United States looks good. Again, I don't choose what I'm going to sketch. I don't know where I'm going. My intention is to give an accurate map of the energies of the other dimension, knowing that that's what's going to play out. That it may not be playing out this minute, but that is what it's going to be playing out. That is why if we get a map and all of a sudden something starts to go south, we need to take care of it. Oh, LA and Florida are still getting healings. So Los Angeles, I guess everything that has happened, plus the Diddy thing, I think there is self-correcting going on, excuse me. So that is good news. We wouldn't have wanted to lose Los Angeles. Come on. I don't know what was in the news today, but the person that was in deep trouble in Congress was the president or something of a think tank. And I think it was the woman with the auto pen. Huh. Well, what did I say 2 weeks ago? These think tanks, no. They want to do the thinking for everybody else. They want to have the prescription. They don't want the freedom of thought. So what they do is they get together, they figure out, okay, so this is what do they call it? Correct thought? I think there's a phrase for it. And then they may not become the thought police, but they're the ones that put out what the thought police tries to enforce, think tanks. And this is just one example. Whoa. Talk about, I didn't know that was already in the Senate or Congress, that they're grilling the people with the auto pens. And this woman, I don't remember the name, she was the one that apparently has been targeted or signaled or found out to be the person with the auto. But she was the president of an important think tank, which has to do with thought control. Today on X, somebody was saying Jesus Christ did not say, don't do this, don't do that. Jesus Christ didn't point fingers. Total agreement. And then he said, and I'm not familiar with the Bible or the phrases, but he said, Jesus said, you are gods. And it's in John 10:34. It's a parable. I don't remember what there's a proper word for that. I apologize. So Jesus said, you're gods. Well, Tantric Buddhism, there's a difference. Okay, now this is the metaphysical part of this chat, which I'm trying to organize. When I woke up and started to do therapy and get memories, and I started to read about Buddhism, I was like, I don't get this. They were talking about being good and controlling your anger. And I don't remember this from being in Tibet. First, because I didn't have the language, I could hear some of them inside my head, a telepathy that was crystal clear, as if they were typing, but with sound in my head. But so I went to a weekend given by a Tantric Buddhist monk, Glenn Mullen. Wow, is he good? And when he was talking about the tantric monks and the training, or just, I went, oh, I know that. Tantric monks, the baseline is what Jesus said, you are a god. But then after that, they go, so let's get with the program. Which means they are not going to get in the way of your intentions, because maybe you'll get into trouble, then you'll stop, then you'll self-correct, and you'll be on your way. They won't make anything happen for you. And it is the reason why the training I had under them was so severe. Oh my God, that's abuse. How can that be? I didn't know Buddhists were like that. You don't know Tantric Buddhists. You would want to have one as your best friend. Absolutely. You may not be ready for it. So going back to my training with them, you could say, well, but all that does, we're not talking sexual abuse. They put me in a cave. I don't know how long I was there to develop my mind, and it happened. They won't get in. They will support in. Let's just go with my case, which should be typical. If my intention was to gain the maximum knowledge on the planet, and that was where it was determined I would gain it, in order to get beaten up, abused, raped, and then go down, come back up again, and then come here now to teach about white magic. By the way, they're all about magic, Tantrism. Then, as Tantric masters, it is their goal to support me in my intentions. I was 10. Well, but you didn't remember your intentions then. They should have been nice, whatever. No, 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 no. I didn't remember my intentions because then it wouldn't have worked. But they understood, and they put me through whatever they needed to put me through in order to position me to support my intention. But their bottom line, they start out with, you are not like your gods, you are a god. Compassion, but no mercy. When that Glenn Mullins said those words about the tantric monks, I went, that's them. That is absolutely them. Compassion, but no mercy. I remember the head guy saying to me when I was leaving, we are sorry because we know what you're going back to. And then something about my daughter being sick, and she was born with issues that, of course, regular doctors couldn't find. And they felt that I was the problem, that I was a worrywart, that I preferred her over her brother that was older. I said, no, the kid is sick. No, she's not. And then I'll finish the story. She had x-rays because I said, listen, something's going on. This is not good. This was like 3 or 4 years of this. So they did x-rays. The pediatrician called. We were at the dinner table. I got up. I took the call. He said, everything's clear. I told you, Francis, don't worry about it. I said, okay, thank you. Hung up and I sat down. My husband said, who was that? I said, the pediatrician. What did he say? He said that x-rays look fine, great. And he said, how come you look like that? I said, because he's wrong. 10 minutes later, still at the dining table, we got a call again from the pediatrician. He said, you know what? I really apologize. The cardiologist just looked at the x-rays and we have to do emergency surgery. So I said, okay. I hung up the phone. I turned to my husband. I said, she has to have emergency surgery. Emergency was, like not that minute, but the next day. So back to tantric. Basically, that's my bottom line. I don't have the language. Somebody says, you have to teach me tantric sex. First place, what the hell are you talking about? I wouldn't know how to teach that. It's a whatever. You have to teach me this. I can help you to get, not to that, get that out of the way, to being a master, which is what I'm doing with my followers. Practically none of the really core group of people that follow me, they're not whining anymore. We were all, including me, whining when we got together. Look at this, my kid, this, look what was done to me. I'm a Cancer. We whine. Whether we express it, maybe we don't, but we're whining. We don't have that. We have the chats, and then a couple of usually mothers will come in. Oh, my kid, I'm so worried. Another person, oh, I don't know what to do with my daughter. And they're like, huh? And the rest of us are chill, not in the sense that we don't care, but in the sense that we have the tools. And if the person can listen and try them, they will find that. So, and all of that is, and I'm training everybody. So I'm telling you, and then I'm cutting this short, because if you have a problem, you have to ask yourself why you have a problem. And there is the gold. There is where you get your stuff. That's where you get sometimes the horror stories, but then you work it through and then you go up a notch in your frequency, which is what it's all about. So it is said that the Dalai Lama teaches Sutra Buddhism, but he practices Tantric Buddhism. The whole sex thing is just, you don't even need to go there ever. What you need to understand is that the Buddha and Jesus both said the same thing. You are a God. And then you're going to go, I'm not operating like one. I feel like a pincushion with everybody attacking me. Okay. Why was that necessary? What did that bring to you? What I had to do for probably 4 years with my handler that would attack us while we were in chats. And then a lot of times I said, okay, I think I finished with him. And then it would be back again. And then I said, okay, so why do I need this? And it always, in my case with him, it always had to do with, there was something else I needed to learn about magic, because he is a black magician. The Egyptian magic from the pyramids, he knows it all. He's been there. He does it. Okay. So I think I'm going to let it go right now. I will tell you what we found last night. We did the purification session on the bladder. I did not know that men have issues with incontinence also. I didn't know that. So, but it's the same thing. The issue with the bladder is, for women, hatred of men. The issue for men in the bladder is hatred of women. Oh, no, I don't hate women. I'm not gay. I don't hate women. Or, no, I don't hate men. I love men. It's an emotional trauma that you had with somebody that coincidentally was the opposite sex. And we are programmed to develop an incredible hatred of the opposite sex. The ending of the planet has to do with a coming together of light, coming together of dark, coming together of opposites. So if you can look at humans and you've got a wide lens and you go, oh, so that's what's going to make them evolve, let's make sure that everybody that's male hates all the females and everybody that's female hates all the males. That's in the bladder. So if there's any issues with bladder, your mantra is, even though I hate women or even though I hate men. But it was really good. And there's an issue which I have found through the years, but I found a lot here, of when a girl starts to grow up and she becomes attractive at 13 or 14, the men in the family get jealous or they get territorial, or the father will say, I don't want anybody looking at my daughter. And then they'll go ahead and they'll do black magic. What are you doing? I'm protecting my daughter. So it comes up a lot in my sketches. I think it came in twice here. This is somebody's anger and black magic saying, you're mine. So who knows what that's all about? This person does a lot of mantras and she's taken this purification. I think this is the third time. And this is yellow. It's supposed to be yellow. I didn't have a yellow pen. But that's a lot of emotion. She's actually dealing with what we don't deal with because we don't get it. I'm not gay. And it came up from my jaw that I hate men. It came up from my jaw, a fragment of me that witnessed something by a man. And then it broke off the main part of me and it lodged here. But it's a vibration of hating men. Yeah, but that was just what. We're simpletons. And those programs are very important. Those are put on before we come in. This is another one of them. A lot of black magic. And this is another person. A lot of anger. And this is two angry people. They're vectors coming in at her bladder, which has to do with her being female. And this person didn't have anything. The trick of the matter is that for a couple of these people, I have done purifications of black magic. And yet they had black magic here. Well, does that mean I'm not good? No. First place, I always say, I know that I didn't see everything, and I know I'm not taking care of everything. I'm taking care of this stuff that I'm sketching, and I know that I do, because there's a difference and whatever. The trick of the matter is, in order to be able to take off that black magic at that level that's far away, I work at the causal level usually, which is the deepest, the highest, and this is physical body level. So now I have to retrain myself if somebody's coming to me to clear because they're going to have surgery or because they're ill. I need an adjustment in my intention for it to go where it needs to go, to make sure that we get there and clear that. It's just refining what I do and explaining it to you, and that might help having to do with the widening of the lens. Anyway, so that's it. I'm calling it quits. I hope you have a very nice evening. No more think tanks. Listen, are we going to have anybody left? We're shutting everybody down. Are we going to have anybody left? But this change from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius is a collapse of hierarchy. So then we had think tanks that think for us. That's hierarchy. So there's a lot of different versions and issues with this collapse of the paradigm. And we're living through them, but apparently in terms of the United States, we're living through them very gracefully. And we should be grateful for that. Okay? We'll see you.